Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tennyson. I assume is how you pronounce that. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, haven't been watching me for a little while, I'm really bad at pronouncing things, so I'm often pronouncing names wrong and stuff. Or actually, I don't even know if I'm bad at pronouncing things. I just know that I usually feel like I'm pronouncing things wrong, and so I sort of assume it's wrong. But, there you go. So, I think, so some of you were probably here last time I did some, hello, Madeline. I got it right? Good. Okay. Yes, more insight, exactly. So I did a live stream of this game that so it was recommended to me byZetamath. If any of you aren't familiar withZetamath, he has two channels, actually, I believe.Zetamath, where he does math explanation videos, and alsoZetamath Does Puzzles, I think is what it's called, where he solves Sudokus, I think almost exclusively Sudokus, and obviously variants and stuff, but maybe some other stuff, but mainly Sudokus. So you should check him out. And he had suggested this game to me, said it was good, and thought I should do a stream of it. So thank you toZetamath for that. And we got through quite a bit. I guess I don't even know, I mean, I could be like almost done with the game or barely started. I have no idea. So it's just as we do a level, it pops up with another level, and we're just going as we go. And basically there's let's see, let's go back to here quick. So this was, I think, like one of the first ones. So we're drawing lines, and it kind of helps teach you, but you have to figure out what the things mean. So like these squares, we didn't know what they meant, and we figured out, and this is going to be the tricky part, is it's been a couple weeks now, so I got to remember what we figured out, or what we think we figured out. So some of you that were here last time might have to help me remember. But I believe the squares meant they have to be in the same shape with rotation and reflection, basically. Which seems to be what's going on here. Yeah, I think it's just they're in different, or they could be in the same one too, right? I think they could be in the same. Could you have two squares in the same one? I think you could. Let's see. Yeah, like this one. So, and then the numbers at the top were telling us basically how many, there was two sets of two, basically. So there was two things that were the same, and then another two things that were the same. We're still kind of figuring out what all the things mean. But, so, let's see. Looks like we've got 5 places we can go. I'm gonna start with this little small circle up here, I think. We'll see how that does. Okay, so okay, well, obviously we're doing it right there. The question is, what does that mean, right? So I don't know. There's lots of things it could be at this point, so I'm not really sure yet. Let's see. So, oh, okay. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm not entirely sure what the dots mean yet, but okay, that's right. So I feel like these single dots, so far that's meant you have to draw a shape using all of those, and this one is like, I don't know, because it's 3 cells and we have 3 dots in one space, and this one's 3 cells and we have 3 single dots. So it could just mean, I don't know what it could mean. I don't know yet. I mean, it feels like you want to do this. Yeah, the amount of squares in that shape, right? Yeah, but what's the difference? Like this one has 6, and we're gonna presumably do this and have, yeah, 6 squares. And this one has 6, and it has 6 single dots. But could I like combine? Okay, so like what I'm wondering is, can I do this? Because it has 1 plus 2 is 3, and you have 3 cells. but it's saying that's wrong. Maybe the ones that are the same just have to be grouped? No. And it's flashing the 2 at me. Which means what? Why is it saying that? Ah, equal number of dots either side of the line. I like that idea. Okay, so we've got 10 down here, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 4. So 14. So we need 7 then, if that's right. So now does it have to be? The shapes have to be the same, presumably. So we need to have. No, that doesn't quite work. I think that works, doesn't it? Yep, that's what it was. Yep. So they have to, the 2 is basically telling us we need 2 pieces that are the same shape with rotation reflection. And the dots are telling us, okay, so it's the same total number. Oh, and it could be a size 7, not size 7 shape, because there's 12 total cells here, so these are each, or not 12, 16, sorry, so these are each 8. So there's 7 dots, but 8 cells. My dog's decided to come help. This is Banjo. Hello, Banjo. Okay, so we need 4 shapes this time. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8, so we need to have 2 in each shape, maybe? Maybe that's the way it works. So it's not so much either side of the line, it's more like each of the shapes has to have the same number. Well, if we have to have 2 in each, this one has to be in its own thing. But we also need to have each of them be size 4, because there's 16 cells. So we need... Can we do an L? I don't know that that's going to work. Nope, not quite. Maybe we can do the T shape. Yeah, I think that'll work. Like that. There we go. So we've got 4 shapes that are all the same, and they each have 2 dots in them. Okay. Got 8 again, so we need 2 in each. And again, they have to be 4 cells each. Hello, Jay. I keep wanting to do L's, but I don't think that's gonna work. No. Okay. So they've got to be our Tetris shapes, though. So this one has to be with one of those 2. If it goes this way, it's gonna have to... I mean, you'd end up having to do that, and there's no way to then get this one in a Z shape, so that's not gonna work. So it's gonna have to go up here with this one, but then it would have to either be straight, which we can't do the eyes for all of them. So it's got to do, I mean, we can't do another T. Can we do L's? Maybe we can. Can we do? Oh, we can do L's. We can do L's, yeah. Just like this. There we go. Yeah, it is L's. Talked myself out of it. Nice. Okay. Hello, Enya. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 8 dots. So again, 2. We're just doing Tetris shapes in here, basically, with our 4 cell shapes. I wonder if so again, this one has to connect to one of these 2, and then not connect to the other one. So we've got to do. I have not played the Witness Woofers. some people last time commented that this looks quite a bit like that one, like The Witness, but I have not played it. L again. Okay, L again. That's what I'm thinking, but it must go this way. No, not that way. Like this. Oh, yep. It is L's again. Okay. Hello, Derek. I know you can't hear me because you're muted, but I'm going to say hello to you anyways. Okay, now we're not doing Tetris. So 6. So these have to be size 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we have 8. So we need 2 dots in each. So this 2 has to be part of its own thing. So it's got to come over here somehow. We need size 6. This 2 also has to be part of its own thing. Presumably these 2 are going to be together. I mean, unless you do something like this, big long L's. But that's not going to work. Probably need to do stuff with the dots and the lines. Yep. Gillfish, no, I do not. I actually work part-time at a church. Long-tailed peas. Yeah, I was just thinking peas, some sort of a pea shape is what we're going to need, because this is going to have to come out here, and we can't do an L. An L's not going to work, so it's got to be some sort of a T or P type thing. Like that, maybe? Is that going to work? I don't think that's going to work either, because then this one would have to be that way. And then this one's not going to be able to be. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we do something like that? I work at a Lutheran church. So this has to come over here. That's 2 cells. You're gonna get the third one there. If we keep going this way, then you have to either do the T thing or the L thing. So I feel like we gotta come up here. Nope, I don't think that works. We could do this. Hello, Wenmo. That's part of the puzzle, is figuring out how it works. Okay, that one works well. But if we do the same shape over here, we've got 2 missing pieces there. And the only way this one can connect to over here is if it connects to, you know, something like this. But that's gonna... There's no way to connect this one to this one without cutting off this piece from having enough cells. So these 2 have to be connected, and these 2 have to be connected. So I've got that much. We have to have this 2-cell piece sticking off of all the shapes. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. And this cuts off. There's got to be a way to make this work, obviously. A U. Oh, a U. I hadn't even thought about a U, right? Because we're using... Now that we've got 6, we can do... Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, like this. Yep, you're right. You're right. That's going to be exactly what it is. Very good. That was a tricky one. Good job, Tom. All right, so we're through the dot now. Do we continue on to the plus? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the plus next. Okay, so we know the dots. We know how the dots work. The plus, what's the plus mean? That's the question. Wait, let me go back. Oh, ha, I wasn't even paying attention. Right. So the plus is it's basically like doubling it maybe or something. Because we had 1 and 2, and so that's kind of, the plus is just making, it's doubling it. It's what it's doing. Or it's adding those again, I guess is another way to think of it. So we have 2 dots and 4 dots. So this plus is making that 4 essentially. So this one we have 1, 2 pluses. So that's going to make that 3 with the 3 down here. Stern build. This is a game called Insight, and basically you don't know what any of the symbols mean or what you're even supposed to do, and you have to kind of figure it out. And we've done quite a few levels already, so we've learned some stuff. Like the 2 up here tells us we need to do 2 equal shapes, which I'm gonna go like this because there's 6 dots up here, 3 down here. The plus turns those 3 into 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. So so we could do the 3 singles and then the 2 with the plus, but that's gonna give us some weird shapes, I think. And the shapes need to be size 6. We could also do we don't want to put the, we can't put the plus with the 2s, right? Because if you had just those, you'd have 4 and you'd have 3. And if you move any more over to that side with the plus and the 2 dots, it's going to be way too big. So this has to be connected to the single. That's 3. And so then, yeah, it needs to be just... Yeah, 2, 2, 2 would be good, except I think we have to just have 2 shapes because of the 2 at the top. Although we don't really know. That's sort of what we've assumed. I don't think it's times 2. Well, it's kind of a times 2. It's like a times 2 for... Well, but it's not a times 2, is it? Because back here, this wasn't a times 2. It's just adding those dots again, I think. Because this would be like 1 times 2 times 2 would be 4, and that's obviously not what's going on. So it's like 1 plus another 1 plus another 1. But it can also be, you know, all these 3 plus another 3. So it's just kind of doubling all of the dots, I guess. It's not quite a multiplication. I feel like these 2 have to connect to this one, but then that has to be... Wait a minute. Then you'd have 3, and if you put these other 3 together, you'd have 4. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so it's not going to double these 2. It's going to add 1 to it, giving us 6. That has to be the only way that this works, right? So you've got to have these 2 together and the other 3 together. Something like that. But I think they have to be the same size shape, yeah. Oh, okay, I see what it is. It's the F shape. It's this one. So it is just adding 1 for every... Yeah, Pim, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It is just adding 1 for every square that has a dot, like you said. Yep. That's cool. So this is a good level for someone who's designing puzzles. This is a great way to kind of teach that to us, right? Because I couldn't make the math work unless it was that, essentially. Nice. Okay. Ooh. All right. So our shapes have to have 8 cells each. That's the easy part. Now they're even. So 3, 6, 9. So we got 12, 16, and this is gonna add some. So we're not gonna be able to just add 1 clearly. So basically, if we split it evenly, they've got the same number of dots. However many dots we move to the side that doesn't have the plus will have to equal the number of dot cells that move to the other side, right? So if we move a dot to the left side, but the left side would then have 2 more than the right, because you add 1 and you subtract 1 from the other side. And so we would then have to have... Right. So by moving a 1 to the one side and 3 to the other side, you lose... This gives us... Yeah, so it needs to be the other way around, but it's the fact that you're moving a 1 and a 3. Yeah. Because we're moving a 1 to the left and 3 to the right, but we're also... Oh, but we didn't change the number of cells with dots. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That works. Amber. All right. I will probably forget that, but I'm terrible with names. It's funny, we have staff meetings at church and people are like, oh, so-and-so is doing this. I'm like, who is that? Oh, the guy that sits in the back row at the late service. And oh, I know who that is. You know, I just don't know. I can't remember people's names. I know faces. I know things about the people. I just can't remember names for some reason. So definitely witness vibes. Yeah, add 1 for each cell with dots. Yep, that's what it's doing. All right, where do we want to go next? We got lots of options. This is starting to get like option overload. I guess we can let's just keep going up here. This one seems complicated, so let's start with the dash. It is a bit confusing, yes. It's a fun game. You can get it on Steam. It's pretty cheap. It's like $4 or $5. So if you ever want to try it yourself. All right. So I mean, this makes me. Oh. Okay. So we're adding 1, and we're subtracting 1, so we have 0. But I thought it was adding 1 for each cell with a dot. Maybe it's just adding 1 for each cell with any symbol, not necessarily dots. So the plus would be adding 1 for the minus, and the minus would be subtracting 1 for the plus. Oh, this is gonna get very confusing. Okay. So we've got 1. We can add and subtract twice. Oh, so we just need to do... if we put... Yeah. If we do this, it works, because the plus and the minus cancel out, so you get 0. This is a 1 minus that dot, which gives you 0, and this is a 0. Okay, so we've got 6 and 6, so we need to put... And how does this... Oh, right, so we need to have the 2 dots and the minus all together. Because that will have 2 minus 2 will give you 0. So it's got to be... We need to have 6 cells. Oh, the F again. The F shape. There we go. A U back here on this one. Would a U work there? Oh, U unbalanced would have worked. Yeah, that's true. The unbalanced U like that. Yep. Good point. Nice. 2, 3. We're subtracting. So again, they're gonna all have to be together, I think, because if you put the minus with a single dot, they can't. There's 0, and then there'd be 2. And if you put the minus with 2 dots, again, it's 0 with a 1. So they've got to all be in the same thing, which is going to be kind of like the F, but yeah, I don't know what you call that. Like a thicker F, I guess. It's still an F, just bigger. So we've got 4 pluses and 4 minuses. So if we can just match them up. Oh, and it's 2 and 2. Remember, this means we need 2 sets of 2 shapes that are the same. So we could do like, I mean, that would be 2 shapes that are the same. But then, I mean, that's not going to work, but what if we did this? And then, no, because this minus has to connect to a plus somehow. We can go like this and like that. Will that work? No, because they have to be 2 sets of 2 shapes that are the same, but are not all 4 the same, I think. So we can do this though. Yep. So these 2 are the same, and they each have a plus and a minus. These 2 are the same, and each have a plus and a minus. So these don't necessarily have to, and they're not obviously, they obviously can't have just a plus and a minus. We have 6 pluses. We need 4 shapes. So some of them are going to have 2. I mean, we could do something like that and like that. There we go. Yep, that works. Cool. All right. So we have plus and we have minus. Let's just keep moving on over here. Okay, so as if you may recall, the straight line crash. So basically, we're figuring out the game as we play it. We've gone through quite a few levels back here already, and we've kind of learned just from trial and error what the symbols mean. So, and you don't really always know. Sometimes you think you know, and then you find out later it's not what you thought it meant. So, oh, well, this is interesting now. So, what you may remember from last time is this line up here, the straight thing, meant it had to be a 1-cell wide region, like a snake, basically. And this Y-shaped one, it's not really a Y, it's more of a branching thing. It was kind of the same idea, except it had to have a branch. Now, the way they want me to draw this in here, this one is not going to be branching, and this one is going to be branching. And so they're kind of the opposite of what it's supposed to be. So the plus is this time telling us add a branch, and the minus is telling us subtract a branch. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. That's clearly what that's telling us, I think. I mean, that's got to be it. So these both would say it has to be part of a 1-cell wide snake. The plus is telling us we can add a branch. So like that. This one has no branching. This one is branching because of the plus. Okay. That's kind of wild. Okay, and the plus tells us it has to have a branch. So we could do something like that. No, we can't, because then this one is isolated. But maybe something like that. And there. There we go. So this one has a branch right there. And this one has a branch right there. And this one has no branch. Very nice. Okay. So, okay, and this plus one, the plus, it's a different plus shape. It's not the plus down here, it's the branching plus. Is telling us basically that there's another branch, right? This one tells us there's one branch, the Y. This cross thing tells us there's 2 branches. So, the new symbol Well, so we've used this one before, but it was last stream. So this is just telling us the branching. So this, okay, so we can't subtract. We can't have. I don't think we can have the snake one with a minus. So it's gonna have to just be that, I think. This one, I think we can do this. Yep. So this is one branch minus a branch. This is two branches minus two branches. This one just has no branches, and this one is one branch minus a branch, so they all end up being just snakes, essentially. These both say two branches. We have, yeah, so they're going to have to each have two of the minuses and have no branching. So they just have to be snakes. No, we can't do, I mean, we can do, you know. So presumably this has to have no, because it has to be, by no branching, it means it has to be a one cell wide path, something like this. So, I mean, my initial thought would be to do, you know, something like this, but then the one has all of the minuses, which isn't going to work. They would be one cell wide paths, though. So that's kind of what we want, but we need to get two of the minuses with this one. But if that path kind of bends down here at the end, then it cuts off the other one. But I don't think we can have more than two minuses on a shape. Because you can't go from two, so far we've, yes, all the cells have had to be used. We can't go from two branches to negative branches. Like it's not possible. Down, up, down, up. So something like this. Oh, I gotta go start at the edge. Like a rotated E. Yeah, but you can't do this because then you've got branching. The paths seem like they have to always, if you don't go from an edge to an edge, it doesn't accept it. So yeah, you have to go all the way. You can draw more than one path though. You know, you can do something like this, then draw another one. Sometimes this one's not letting you. Sometimes it lets you draw more than one line, sometimes it doesn't. There's got to be, or maybe we're not understanding what the thing means, because I mean, so that works for that one, right? But then this one is a problem. That's getting close. Because if we did, you know, something like that, that's really close to working. It's just this cell here that's the problem then. This one comes up and around. It's so close. We just need to... down here around the first. That's the same thing I just did. Again, really close, but this one's... there's always this one cell that's the problem. Jay says go down, go around the first, then just make sure you don't branch. Have to leave a one cell path at the top, like this. Yeah, theoretical negative branch. I'm not really sure what that would mean. How do you have a negative branch? Move the S bend one to the left. Okay, let's see. Like this? Yeah, that doesn't work though. One region takes the middle minuses. Yeah, that's what I was just kind of thinking, but... but how do you get both of them without a branch? Or without the top one taking too many cells? Yeah, if one of them took 3 minuses, then the other one could have a branch and have 1 minus, but I don't think you can have... how can you have 3... you can't have 2 branches minus 3 branches. Because you'll end up... yeah, see, it won't let me do that. It'll end up with a -1 branch, so... too bad we can't do that. Man. That's so close to working, right? This here. Okay, the shape is down, around the first, right 3 and down 1. There you go. Very good, Jay. Everybody applaud Jay, because that was a hard one. Good job, Jay. Yeah. Very tricky. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, yay to you, Jay. That was a good one. Ooh, I haven't seen this symbol before. All right, well, we can kind of intuit what it means, right? So it's going to have 4 branches. Hello, NBA card collector. So 1, 2, 3. So this is going to have 4 branches. Multiply? Yeah, it could be. But I think it just based on the, we've had these other branching symbols. I think it's one of those. I think it's going to be 4 branches instead of, or 3 branches. This one is 3. No, this one is 2. Right, that's 2 branches. So this is going to be 3 branches, I guess. Sorry. So yeah, we're going to have this with 3 of the minuses and then the dot with the other minus. So those will cancel out and the 3 minuses will cancel out this. But that means they have to be snakes again. Oh, but only this one has to be a snake, right? Oh, right. So, oh, okay. Trying to be funny. Yep, good. I think so. Before we figured out the 2 meant, sometimes it meant 2 shapes. See, you'll notice these other ones that we were just doing don't have the number at the top because we figured out last time that sometimes that 2 means 2 identical shapes, not including the branching shape. So these 2 would have to be the same shape over here. We'd have to have 2 identical shapes basically that aren't part of that. So I think what we need to do is this, and then, oh, but we can't cut this in half because of the minus and the dot. I mean, we could do something like this, but then we can't cut this into equal shapes. We do, I mean, we can do this, but then we can't put, we can do this, I think, right? And that. There we go. We can do that. Yep. So when I said we couldn't do this U-shape thing because we couldn't cut the other part into equal shapes, that was not true. We can cut it into equal shapes. So the 2 equal shapes is separate from the branching shapes, basically. Okay. All right. I think let's go back over here. I want to do the question marks. Why not? Let's see what that does. Oh, 2x2. Okay. Well. Huh. Why did it make those gray? Oh, okay, so I need to have 2 equal sets, and the sets both need to be, this is just, I'm guessing, I don't know what this means, but this is my first thought. 2 equal sets, but they're double here, so like the 2 with 1, 2 with 1, so it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. So, can I do that and that? No. Because they have to be the same. It's got to be 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so it's got to be like that. These 2, because they're the same, you could take those 2 as a whole and flip them and rotate them and make them overlap here. Okay. There's 8, so it's got to be. Okay, so my first instinct was not quite right then, because we can't do 2 sets of, so each set would have to have 4 cells here, since there's 8. And you can't do a set of 4 cells that's 2 sets in a 2-to-1 ratio. So it just has to be two sets of two separate shapes, apparently. So can we do that? No, that doesn't quite, oh, it's not quite right, yep. And these could be, I think, 1 and 3 or 2 and 2. Maybe. I'm not really sure. Yeah, two sets, each broken into two parts. I'm wondering if they can we do like 2 and 2? Is that allowed? Or does it need to be 3 and 1? But this with that and this with that would work. But then how do these play into it? Actually, no, that doesn't work. Never mind. Oh, we can do that. Okay, cool. So, I mean, the first thought, of course, is to try this, but the orientation isn't the same, right? The single with the L is not the same orientation. So, I mean, you could do a single there, but again, it's not quite the same. Two L's. Yeah, I'm thinking two L's, but I'm just wondering how to... There's a lot of ways you can make L's here. That doesn't quite work either. Oh, actually it does. It does work, yeah. This one goes with that L, and this one goes with the L up there. That's kind of tricky. I kept wanting to put this single with this L and thinking that's not going to work, but it does work. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So, it's... The grays are kind of together as a set, and the whites are together as a set here. And if you think about taking those grays and rotating it sort of counterclockwise, those would fit right on top of the whites. Yes. Yes, Jay. Two identical parts, but each consists of two shapes. So those two grays are together there, the two whites together, and on this one, again, the grays and the whites, but this time you have to actually flip it. You have to kind of hitting the microphone. That's a rookie move right there. All right, you have to kind of flip the grays to make them match up with the white. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, for sure. Definitely takes some mental gymnastics to turn that around in your head and see what's going on. Yeah. Let's see. So, I mean, my first thought again is to do L's with singles, but that's not going to quite work. What if we do different kind of... No, that doesn't quite work either. There's 10. So the two... 8, 9, 10. There's 10 total cells. So our two pieces are each gonna have to have 5. So it's got to be either 4 and 1, which is what I was trying to do with the L's, or 3 and 2. Now 3 and 2 would be interesting, wouldn't it? Not quite seeing how you could do 3 and 2 though. But it would be interesting. Andrew says 3 eyes with perpendicular 2 eyes. Oh, it does work. You're right. Again, I'm trying to put the wrong set with the wrong set. It works like this. I was trying to put this 3 with this 2, but it needs to be this way. And so you can kind of see if you take those whites, they're like this, and you rotate them like that, they become the grays. Kind of a T with a break in the middle. Good job, Andrew. Something like that gonna work? Oh, it's not quite, because the 2 is at the end of the 3, as opposed to the 3 at the end of the 2. That's close, though. That's close. So these two, well... Again, we can do some sort of an L with a 1, but it doesn't... Yeah, it definitely takes some, Do we know if the 2 connected shapes can touch? That's a good question. Have we... I don't think they have yet. So, I mean, at this point, it seems like no. It feels like if they were touching, they would be part of one shape, not 2 separate shapes, right? You know, if the 2 grays were touching, they would be one big gray, not 2 separate pieces of a gray shape. Hello, Amelia. So we're figuring out what's going on. The basic idea of this game is you have to figure out what to do. You have to figure out what all the shapes mean. And this one is definitely confusing. We're doing 2 sets of 2. So this is 10. So again, we're doing 2 size 5. So 3 and 1. Diagonally. Yeah, they could touch diagonally. I don't think we've had that yet. That's a good thought, though. Could they be touching diagonally? Because they wouldn't really be connected. That feels like it would be allowed, right? Kind of like in Philomeno, right? If you're familiar with Philomeno, you can have the shapes touching diagonally because they don't join into one shape. But if you have them touching orthogonally, then they're essentially part of one shape. So it feels like that would work, but yeah, we don't know. We'll have to see. That's not quite there either. I'm just sort of trying things right now. We could also do some sort of a L shape with some 2s somehow. It's not looking very promising. You'd have to do the other one here, which isn't gonna work. Philomeno? Yeah, Philomeno is a puzzle type. It's a lot of fun. I've done some on the channel before. It's F-I-L-L-O-M-I-N-O. Like, you're filling the grid with dominoes or polyominoes, like dominoes but different shapes. It's fun puzzle type. Google it, you can find it. Or go look on my channel for Philomeno. You can search on my channel for some Philomeno videos. Hello, Riff Clown. Glad to have you here. Riff seems like he might be able to figure these things out. This one's a brain bending thing where you're twisting your brain around. Basically, this one is kind of getting us. Still making your way through my old videos. Yep. I understand. 2 T's and the ones. Oh, T's. I hadn't thought about T's. Ooh, I like T's. That's fun. Very nice. Very cool. Good job, Jay. Yes, thank you, Tom. That's how you spell Philomeno. Yep. Riff is pretty much straight Sudoku. Okay, well. That's okay. T's with singles. Yeah, Jay and Andrew, good job. I definitely... I don't know if I was going to find that one for a while. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we got 12. So they've got to be size 6 this time. Yeah, picturing the ones there was really tricky because you've got to do the ones with the correct, yeah. This one, so it's 6 this time. So, I mean, we could do 4 and 2, 5 and 1, 3 and 3. There's lots of options, obviously. For some reason, my brain wants to do a 3 right there. But that's not going to work. Because then if we do a 3 here, we've got 4 and 2, and yep, that's not going to work. Okay. And we could do an L. But that's no good either. We could do an L here. An L there. No. Because then you're not going to be able to make the 2s work. What about that? Nope, that doesn't quite work. If we do this 4, then there's probably a 2 over here. But then I'm not seeing that. So we could do 3s somehow. But something's got to have a bend in it somewhere. We could do a 1 with a 5. Is there a way to do like a P shape? That's close. This would have to be just diagonally up there. What about like a U shape? Oh, but then we can't get another U in there if we do that. Because I was gonna say you can do a U here, but then yeah, the U's not gonna work. Wow, this one is something. Okay. So if we do a single here, then it gets tricky because it's disconnected from a lot of stuff. Well, it's either disconnected from its shape or it's connected somehow to something over here. But then, so the 2x2s, Sonalita, is 2 sets of 2 disconnected. So like the gray T with the single and the white T with the single. They have to be the same, basically rotated and reflected on top of each other. 2 sets of 2 disconnected shapes, something like these. And it's breaking our brains, I think. This one has been tricky for sure. So my thinking is we're not going to be able to do a single here. I just don't. There might be a way to make it work, but I'm not seeing how. So I kind of feel like it needs to be at least 2 here, which would then put it with a 4. Somehow, which could be an L or yeah, this one is hard. I'm kind of waiting for Jay to figure it out. If we do 2, it has to be with a 4 because we've got to have 2 sets of 6, and so there has to be another 1x2 somewhere if we do this. If we put it up here, then we're going to end up with L's. Like that. Yeah, that's close, but there's not quite the same orientation here. It's really close. If this domino was just slid up a little bit, it would work perfect. I keep wanting to make Z's, but that's not going to work either. It's probably a 5 and 1 somehow, but oh, there. Yeah, P. Okay, yep, J. Is that the same one you had, Jay? Probably. That's probably the same thing you came up with. I sort of came up with it almost on accident. I didn't quite realize that was even going to work. I was just trying to draw P's and see what I would end up with. See if I could get close to something, and it worked. Okay, there we go. Cool. Very good. So this is 12 again, so we need to have 2 sets of 6. My first instinct is to do, you know, 2s somehow like this, but then we're not going to be able to divide this up. Well, we could do, I could do L's, but they're not quite oriented right, but that's something. What about, that doesn't quite work either. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Again, you have to AIs earlier? Yeah. Yeah, AIs probably wouldn't work as well as P's, huh? I keep wanting to put the wrong, you know, this L with this 1/2. Yep, okay. Wow. Okay, 12 again, so sets of 6. Now I want to do this. Yeah, some of them do have 2 solutions, Violetta. We've come across that before. In this game, you are allowed 2 solutions. Sometimes in puzzles, 2 solutions is considered bad, and I think in general that's probably true of like Sudokus and a lot of pencil puzzles. But this being a different type of game, I feel like it's okay to let you have other options as long as you come up with something that works. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I guess it feels different in my mind because this is more of a game, like we're just trying to get through the level. You know, if you're playing Mario Brothers, if you jump up on this thing and run along, or if you run along the ground, or if you jump over the bad guys or jump on the bad guys, I mean, it doesn't really, there's lots of different ways to get to the goal as long as you get there. So in a game like this, where you're just trying to get to the finish, it feels like more than one solution is okay. I don't know. Philosophy with Scott. There you go. So if we do that, then you have to do the 3s again. So we can't do that. And if you do this, yeah, if I start to do these, you know, 3-cell L's, we can't have a 1 and a 3. That's not going to work because it's got to be 6 total. We could do 2 and 4. I mean, we could do kind of this weird T, or not quite T, whatever, Y. It's a Y shape, I think, actually is what it's called. But then we can't fit another one of those in. What about a Z, like a 4-cell Z, like this? It's interesting. That's interesting. I like that idea. A W-pentomino? Yeah. Yeah, W would be cool. Something like this. You get the W in there, and then... Oh, man. Hello, Benham. Yeah, so part of the objective is figuring out what the objective is. Try and do a T. Okay, so on this specific one, we're trying to do 2 sets of 2 that are arranged the same. Try and do a T. I thought about T's, so something like this maybe? No, we could do a 4-cell T, but then No, that doesn't work. I don't think we can do the Z up here. I like the Z. The Z is fun. But... oh, we can't do 1, though. We have to do 4 and 2, then. Yeah, I was trying to kind of do... You maybe saw I was trying to do an F-pentomino in here, but... No such luck. Could do one up there, but then... Yeah... No, it's not going to work. It is Z. Okay, it is Z. I'm probably just putting the Z in the wrong place. Jay says it is Z, so... Oh, Z-pentomino. Right, the Z-pentomino. I hadn't even thought about that. So... Z-pentomino looks like this, I believe. But where do I stick it? Because I got to put 2 of them in here then, right? Oh, that's an N. That was an N. I can't remember what the different things are. How does a... This is an N, so what's the Z? What does the Z look like then? That's the N. What is the... 3 long with 1 up and 1 down. Oh, right. Yeah. It's this shape. Sorry, you're right. There we go. That is the Z. I was drawing the N. So for those who aren't familiar, pentominos are just like dominoes, but 5 cells. And Tetris, if you played the game Tetris, tetrominoes is 4-cell domino shapes or polyominoes. And so the 4s and the 5s all have names. The 6s might have names too, but the 4s and 5s definitely have names. And this one is the Z. Okay, let's go away from those question marks. That's for sure. This one has a question mark, but some other things. We'll try it. Why not? 3 and oh, what is going on here? Now this is interesting. 3 and 1. Okay. Can we do that? No. Oh, hey, Zetamath. Zetamath is here. There's Zetamath Does Puzzles. He suggested this game. And solves puzzles on his channel as well. Go check him out. Of course you have a t-shirt. Of course you have a t-shirt with the what are they called? Pentominoes is 5. Is it like sextominoes or heptominoes? Or hep would be 7, right? Hexominoes? Maybe? I don't know, something like that. Yeah, this does look scary, Andrew. That was my first thought. I clicked on it, I went, oh, maybe we should do a different level, but we're gonna have to do it again. Okay, hexominoes. Makes sense. He ominous. Yep, this level is ominous. So 3 and 1. The 3 and the 1 would tell us we need 3 shapes that are the same, right? Oh, yeah, sexominoes. I'm actually kind of surprised that if you have a shirt with them, it doesn't say sexominoes instead of hexominoes, just for the joke. Yeah. Okay. So what this is? It's 3 equal shapes and 1 equal shape. Okay, so really this isn't any different than the other levels. It's just that our space to draw the shapes has a gap in it. I think. I guess we'll see. So this one I should be able to do that, right? Yeah, because these three are the same. That one's the same. Now, I'm assuming so far both of them have been, 3 shapes in one side and 1 shape in the other side. I'm assuming you could probably do 2 and 1. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. 3 and 1. So these are both 9, so you couldn't divide one of these into 2. Oh, all the chaos constructions. Yeah, actually that makes sense. Because you're going to use those a lot in chaos constructions. Yeah, there's going to be some that you probably never see, obviously. So for those that don't know, chaos construction basically means a Sudoku where you don't have the boxes defined. It's like an irregular Sudoku, but you have to find the regions for yourself, which, also can break your brain pretty easily. So we're going to have to divide one of them into 3 sets of 3. But they've got to be even, so you can't do like this, because these have to be... Oh, but we can do, we can just do eyes. There we go. I triominoes. There you go. There aren't very many triominoes, I don't think. I mean, obviously, the more, as you get higher and higher, you get more different shapes, so. 3 and 1, 12. This one's 12, so you could potentially... theoretically cut one of them into 2 shapes. I want to try that at some point to see if it works, but I have to figure out a way to do it. Otherwise, we have to do, this is going to be tetrominoes, so our Tetris shapes. Can we do T's? No, not quite. We can do 2 T's and a Z, which I like to call an S, but people have told me it's a Z. So we can't do T's. Could we do L's? Yep, L's. There we go. So Zeta says there's 1,285 non-ominoes, which would be 9 cell. Oh, a lot of them have holes. Yeah, so you can't do holes, obviously, in a Sudoku grid, yep, because you'd have a cell in the middle that would... I mean, you could certainly make a puzzle that has holes. Speaking of holes, we've got a shape right here with a hole. So 3 and 1. So again, we're doing... It feels like this one on the left is going to be easier to cut into 3 pieces. And I think we can do Z's, right? There we go. Oh, that's interesting, Zeta. Yeah. That's a neat idea. Now, you'd have to know the names of them then. But yeah, you couldn't put like a 3-cell Z and a 4-cell Z and a 5-cell Z next to each other. Yeah, that's the hard part, is internalizing the names. So again, 12 and 12, so... Can we do T's this time? I keep wanting to do T's. No. Not like that anyways. T's, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, so L's again, maybe? No, because you can't do... You could do an L here, but then this one doesn't work. Okay, maybe... Ah, very good. Pime, apologies on the pronunciation there. 3 L's on the left, all vertical. Very good. I think I already posted my Mathler video today, didn't I? Did I post my Mathler video? Maybe I haven't actually posted it yet. It's there, ready to go. for someone asking for help. Yep. All right, my Mathler video just went live. There you go. If you need help with Mathler, go check that out. Oh, maybe. YouTube wants me to... Oh. YouTube. I'm currently signed in and live streaming, and it wants me to verify my login. All right, well, my Mathler video will be live soon at any rate. Maybe I can do it from my phone quick. Yeah, Zeta, that's what I was assuming is at some point it's gonna have 2 on one side and 1 on the other to make the 3 instead of... Yep. That's my guess. All right. This is 7, 12... Oh, and in fact, this seems like a good one to do that right here. If we could split that and then... Oh, but we can't get... Can we get this one? I guess you can't quite do it, can you? You can't quite make this one be one shape then. Yep. All right, so I'm making my Mathler video go live. I had it uploaded and I just hadn't set it public yet. So there you go. If you're looking for Mathler help, you can go check that out. All right, 2 3x3s, they say. Oh, yep, there you go. This is the first time we've had that. So perfect timing, Zeta. Oh, and it's the last one of the thing. So yep, there you go. So as we suspected, you don't have to do 3 on one side and 1 on the other. Yep. All right. Well, let's just go up here. Why not? Okay, so what is we got a new symbol. What does this thing mean? No idea. Who knows? Oh, okay. Well, so the 2 usually means 2 equal, or, you know, 2 shapes of the same size. So maybe, is this telling us they don't have to be this? I don't know. I don't know what it's telling us. Well, I mean, one thing it could be, this is blind guess, it could be the same shape but not the same size, because you can see this one up here is sort of like the other one squished down. I feel like that's possible, but I'm not really sure. Ooh. Yeah, so we could do this. Yep. Okay, so so far that's right. But, you know, how close to the same shape does it have to be? Okay. Interesting. So, it's not quite... Yeah, Carter, if you're looking for Mathler help, I just made my Mathler video go live, so you can go check out my solve of it. So it's kind of the same shape, I guess, but you can kind of squish and, yeah, interesting. But I don't think it's going to let us do that, right? Because these are not the same shape, just squished. This is sort of like the, this kind of reminds me of, I'm sure Zeta will be familiar with this, you know, the idea of knot theory and what knots are the same, right? Or what shapes are not necessarily knots even, but just shapes, like what shapes are the same? Like if you distort and stretch and pull a piece out, is it still the same shape? And that's kind of, so somehow this piece up here has like a jut out, right? And so does this. But then this is also, I don't know how else to describe it other than it has another jut out. What about... That's close, it feels like. What about this? Are those? Yeah, a 4 shape, right? So these are both a 4 in some sense. Yeah, if you want to use fancy words, Zeta, then yes. Diffeomorphic, sure. I'm assuming, just based on what that word means, you know, the word, I'm intuiting that that's what we're doing. It's diffeomorphic. So they are essentially the same shape, yeah. Count the corners. See, we just need the mathematician here to tell us how to do it. Okay, so again, this piece up here, the way my mind thinks of it, like he said, count the corners, is the jut outs. Kind of matches these two jut outs here. So if we can make the middle piece... Does that count? No, that's not quite right. Because, yeah, because the corners aren't going to match. Right. And see, this doesn't work either because this one doesn't have the piece at the bottom that this one has. But if we do something like this... Oh, actually, that works. Because, again, we have kind of two jut outs, I guess you could say. These are sort of like eyes, weird-shaped eyes. In fact, we could go like this, I think, and it would be much more clear that they're eyes. This is a little too close to looking like the University of Iowa's logo for my liking, though. Zeta likes to tease me because I went to Iowa State and I'm an Iowa State fan, and he likes to say that I'm an Iowa fan. So jut, I mean, nah, that's not gonna work. What about, nope, that's not quite right either, because again, this piece that's coming out, you know, off of, excuse me, of this long piece, and the part that's sticking up is sticking up in the middle, not at the edge. And this one, the piece that's sticking up is at the edge. But it's kind of close. Could do a T, but the other one's not a T. This is tricky. Can we do that? Does that work? Yeah, they're both essentially Z shapes. It's just the one part of this Z is really fat. Yeah, this is definitely tricky to process. Those are close, but this one has the extra little bit here. Oh, so if we do this, then they're diffeomorphic, apparently, I believe is what Zeta said. And again, that's really close, but not quite, because this is on the edge, not in the middle. And that doesn't quite work either. That's also close. Nope, that's not it. Nope. This one feels really close, but if this was just over at the edge, it would work. There you go, look at that. They're both 4s. And in fact, this time, oh, not quite. They're almost identical. If you took out this corner up here. All right, see you, Andrew. Have a good day at work. Oh wow, so this piece up here that sticks out, we're gonna have to have a similar type of hook, right? That's close. This hook up here is kind of not quite like this hook, but it's getting there. No, that's not gonna work. It's probably something silly like, you know, a tiny one with a big one. Actually, yeah, look at this. 2 U's. This one's a small U, this one's a bigger U. Ooh, okay, so all we gotta do is just put a hole in this one, right? Oh, actually, I was joking. That's right. You do put a hole in it. Okay. So we do put a hole. That's what this square is. We've done this on a previous level. I forgot about that. That was the last stream. So we do literally put a hole in here. But we need to have... Oh, yeah. That really is what you do. It's just right there isn't quite right because they're not... whatever that word was that Zeta said. Yeah. I was kind of joking, but that's actually right. So we need to put another hole in this one, and it needs to be... So the way I'm thinking of it is this piece here... Well, you can think of it like an L, right? This is like an L, it's just that the two legs of the L are blunted, right? And so this whole 3x4 region is like the corner of the L. So we need to put the hole somewhere in the corner of the L, which would be this 3x3 region over here. Yep. Offset from the notch. That's another way to think of it. Yeah, so here, yep, offset from the notch. So it's got to be right there because it has to be kind of where the notch is pointing. But it can't be at the edge. Yep. Very cool. Now this one, so we've got... I'm going to say there. Yep, because it's... Since these two weren't lined up, they had to be, you know, these two or these two, so... Now what are we doing? This is telling us snake. And this piece up here is telling us two shapes that are diffeomorphic. Oh, right, but remember the two is two shapes. Okay, the two tells us two shapes that are the same, not including the one with these branching symbols. So this snake is gonna be, so we basically need to draw a shape like this that leaves a snake. That's what we need to do. So you can think of this negative space in here as a snake. That's what we need to draw. So it kind of goes down, over, and back up. So if we go down, oh, no, down, over, down, and back up. There we go. So that one actually, I was easier to think of the snake being drawn in the negative space of the shape rather than, at least in my head, rather than trying to draw that shape, if that makes sense. And you had to go down, over, and I'm thinking down, you know, I'm looking at it sideways, down, over, but we couldn't go down too far because we go down, over, down, and we get over here, then you're cutting it off in two pieces, so. Anyways, that's how my brain thought about that. All right, let's go over here, finish off this left side of the thing. Ooh, wow, look at some of these shapes over here on the left. Okay, so 2 and 1. So we've got to do 2 shapes the same and 1 shape the same. Okay, we've got an F. No, we can't quite do an F. Oh, all we got to do, yeah. Draw that. These two are the same, and it doesn't really matter what the other shape looks like because it just has to be the same as itself. Oh, I right-clicked. Okay, so all we got to do is draw a T where it's not going to leave more than one shape. Draw U. This one's much easier than the last one. Draw a T, and we have to make sure there's only one shape remaining, so we can do... Oop, no. No, yeah, that was right. And then, nope, that's not gonna work. It leaves one over there, okay. Can we do it here? Yeah, that should work. There we go. We stick a T in the middle there, and then whatever's left doesn't really matter what the shape is. Okay, well, U, an extended U. Extended U, we've used that before. So we obviously can't do the U in here or up here, because it's gonna cut it off. We can almost do it in here, but oh, yeah, we can do it right here. There we go. And then the rest of this is one shape. Nice. Okay, we need to stick a Z somewhere in here that's not gonna mess things up. So, oh, no, wait. Oh, yeah. So it can't be anywhere in here, or you're gonna cut stuff off. It's got to be down in this open area. But because it's a Z, if you do it, you know, at an edge, you're gonna cut off a cell in the corner. So it's got to be something like that, but that splits it into two pieces. Well, that's actually, we don't necessarily have to put a Z somewhere. We could split this into two equal pieces, but that feels like it's going to be really hard to do. How are we going to... I mean... Madeline. Very good. Of course. Of course. Think outside the box, right? We've been doing... And see, that's one of the things this game does. Like Zeta mentioned earlier. They go through and they teach you, oh, this is what you do. This is what you do. You're just taking the smaller one and putting it inside the bigger one. And then on the last one on the level, they say, oh, by the way, we're going to do it completely different now. All right. Let's go up here. Why not? Oh, wow. Okay, so no idea what it means. But one thought is that this. Ooh, now we're getting colors. This could be a problem. Hopefully they chose good colors. For those who don't know, I am colorblind. So yeah. My thought is the similarly colored ones have to be the same shape or size or something. I mean, so obviously this isn't gonna work. Yeah, they have to be the same. So we could do this and that though. Oh, no, that didn't work. So what does it mean then? Maybe even, oh, not the same. They have to be the same orientation and everything? It might even be the same orientation, right? Because up here they were the same shape and they were both vertical. So it could be something like that. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. I mean, that's not gonna work because we've got an empty space in here. What if we do this? Wait a minute. Okay, so possibly separated from each other. But how's that gonna work on this one? Because we've got, this has got 9 cells. We need to presumably have 4 regions here. There's no way that works. I mean, you can't split 9 cells into 4 regions. It doesn't even matter that they're 4 different sizes. If it's 2 sets of 2, Maybe we don't care if they're the same size. As long as, okay, here's my guess. They don't have to be the same size, they just have to not be connected. Yep, that's what it is. Because these red, pink, whatever ones. So, yeah. Okay, and that, so this is a perfect puzzle to teach you that concept, right? Because, I mean, it's pretty clear that there's no possible way to make them all the same size. So they just need to be not touching. And so what's interesting there is you have to have... Okay, so one of the blues has to go between the reds somehow. And so I can see all the colors. I am red-green colorblind. I can see all the colors. They just look different to me. So sometimes shades of things get confusing. These are fine. These two colors are different enough. So what I'm thinking is we need to, if you've got the reds at the top and the blues at the bottom, and red and blue is what I'm calling them. I don't know what colors they are, but hopefully that's right. There needs to be a blue separating the reds, and there needs to be a red separating the blues. But, you know, if you stick a red down here between the blues, if this red sticks down here, right? If you do something like that, now this blue has to stick up there between the reds. Yep, okay, there we go. And again, we need to kind of do the same thing. This needs to be, oh, but no, because this has to be, okay. If the blue, there we go. Like this, and oh, but then, no, it's got to be up higher. We got to do a bunch of these because this has to have room to then get out like that. There we go. Cool. I did a Sudoku once where the regions were kind of like that. It's kind of interesting. So this is kind of this is sort of a draw snakes that get in between each other thing. It's sort of a way to think of this. I think. Oh, so this will be interesting. Can we do a break? Oh, we can, but it can't. Oh, it can't touch that, right? Okay, so what I'm thinking is make the blues touch diagonally. There we go. And the reds touch diagonally. Yep, touch at corners, Tom. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I'm just sort of randomly drawing shapes right now. The blue, oh, but the blue has to get into, okay. So we got to do something like this so that the blue can then go. But then we need red in between these two blues also. Oh, right. So if we do this, there we go. Uh-oh. We got a new shape. Okay, what does this mean? Maybe, could that be another, what does it mean? What does it mean? Is it a spot where you can have no, I don't know. I don't know what to think here. I'm just sort of drawing random shapes, trying to figure something out. Oh, we have had this one before. Okay. Rotational symmetric shape. Oh. Yes, that is what it was. So it is a different shape. It's probably this shape. But then these are going to touch. Oh, the clue doesn't have to be in the center. Good job, Jay. Yes, the clue does not have to be in the center. It has to be rotationally symmetric. So we could go over there. That's not quite going to do it. So I mean, we have to use all 8 across here, or else the top and bottom are going to touch. Right? Because this seems like it almost works. But this has an extra piece, but we can't. Okay, so it's not just a plus shape. That's the key. What if we do something like... That's not quite going to work, but... It's getting closer. Yeah, it clearly has to go all the way across row 3. I'm just figuring out how to make it reach so it's got to go between both of these is the problem, right? It has to go between these two, and it has to go between these two. But that's both... For this one to come down to here, right? For the shape in the middle to stick down in here, it would then have to stick up over here where that one is. So maybe... Okay, maybe we need to do something like this, but then we've got these two touching, and we've got an empty space over here. So that's no good. Oh, right. But we can cut this off, and it's just like that. So this is getting closer. No, that's not right. We just do this. So this is rotationally symmetric now. The key is we need to get a piece up here. That separates these two. Here. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking. Somebody's saying this, basically. And then, but then you have to have, you know, where this piece is in this corner. But that corner has to be part of this region. Well, that's not quite right. feel like we're really close with this. Using the whole row 3 thing. Although, you know, this region down here could go up to there, actually. And then we could rotate. Oh, but we can't. But then this piece can only be. The rotational piece can't use this one then if we do that. We could come up to there, right? That's really close, but this piece needs to. I guess, can we do that and then make this one stick out? I wonder if we can have this in one of the pieces. That would be interesting. Like this. And then, let's see, it was here. Like that? No. Oh, that goes the other way. If I go that way, that's the other direction. That's cutting this, putting this in that middle piece. Wait, what if we do... okay. We do this. And then... Whew. That was a very tricky one. Okay. Very nice. Wow. Okay. I just had to keep trying things and work my way through it. Okay, now this one... this is not rotationally symmetric, but reflection symmetric. So you're going to flip it, and it has to be symmetrical flipped both directions. We also have a symbol that's like this star thing, but it's only the horizontal or the vertical piece, and it means you flip horizontally or vertically. So it's kind of like the last one where you have a shape that is, you know, in the middle, but it's reflection symmetric instead of rotational symmetric, if that makes sense. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know why YouTube is telling me to log in when I'm literally logged in and streaming right now. YouTube is telling me, hey, let's verify it's you. Like, yeah, it's me. I'm... All right, whatever. I'll worry about that later, I guess. It just won't let me look at anything other than what I'm currently doing. Okay. All right. Anyways. Okay. So it needs to be symmetrical flipping instead of rotating this time. So essentially whatever we do above and below has to be the same. Whatever we do left and right has to be the same. And we clearly have to have that middle shape go between, you know, somehow horizontally and between vertically. And just like the other shape, this doesn't necessarily have to be the center of symmetry. So, I mean, my first thought is to do something like this. And yeah, doesn't that work? Oh, no, it doesn't because of this cell over here. It's so close. Oh, it doesn't work vertically either, so never mind. Although the vertical one is easier to fix because we can do this. So one of these Oh, no, that's fine. Look. Yeah, we just do it like this. Oh, but then it's not but then it's not symmetrical this direction. Okay. Yep. Okay, I see it. Oh no, we can't. No, I don't see it. Never mind. I was gonna do this, but then we've got this extra region up here. Okay. Let me go back to what I had there. Because it was really close. What I was thinking is, so if you look at the shape in the middle, it's got this piece over here, so it needs to have the same piece on the other side. I was going to put it here, but that's not actually right. It would need to be... So we need horizontal flipping symmetry as well. So what if it was like this? Then you would have to have... But you've got this extra thing down here. That doesn't work. Oh, yep, that's it, Jay. Very good, very good. This and this, and then we come all the way over here and there. Oh, no, that's not quite right. Here, this way, and then up and over that way. I was trying to make this piece be the one that took this top, and it's this one that takes this top section. Good job. Jay saves us again. Good evening, average Italian. Or should I say buenos dias? That's not right. How do you say it? Oh, I know how to say it. I did Italian on Duolingo for a while before I visited Italy. Why can't I remember it? I've been doing Spanish now, and all I can think is Spanish. Buongiorno, right? Is that right? Buongiorno. Yeah, I think that's right. It's been a few years. I don't remember. The Spanish is too similar, but yet not quite. So, buonasera. Yeah. That works too. There's more than one way to say it. Okay. All right. Which one of these is going to be the least brain melting is the question. This one only has 8 levels. So, I'm going to go with that one because it's almost lunchtime for me. So, I might do... We'll see how long this one takes. This might be our last level for today. Yeah, so it is buongiorno. And I think because I remember this, someone told me there's a distinction. It's not buongiorno like a lot of people say. It's buon. You got to kind of get that U in there, I believe. I'm definitely not the one to ask about pronunciation. But, okay, we need 2 shapes that are the same, which, I mean... They already are, but this thing is telling us... Oh, right, because it's 2 shapes that are the same that are not part of a snake. Now, what I want to do is this, but that's close, but it has to be the shapes that aren't part of the branching symbols. Yeah, buongiorno is... I think it doesn't actually mean good day. Buongiorno, isn't it actually good day? I mean, literally, it probably is used more as a good morning thing, or... I don't know. Anyways. So what we need to do is... make a snake, and then the leftover pieces have to be... Yeah, so we can do this. The leftover piece is this L shape, and then we can do that, and the leftover piece is the same L shape, and both of these are snakes. Ah, very nice, Derek. Is this, you're getting married in a couple months, or is this like a honeymoon after the fact? It is technically morning for me for 4 more minutes, yes. Okay. So our 2 shapes have to be... I mean, we could do something like this, and we end up with a P-pentomino. So can we, yeah, and then do that, and we end up with a P also. Very nice. Okay, so marriage was last August. Oh, well, congratulations. In August, I will be celebrating 19 years, so. Got married in 2003. And really, our Italy trip, which was our 15th anniversary, was kind of sort of like our late honeymoon. We did go on a honeymoon, but it wasn't a big trip. You know, we did 2 weeks in Italy on our 15th anniversary, so. Yeah, buongiorno is just sort of a generic greeting, right? Yeah, I thought so. So we can do that. And then, but this one then is going to be harder to leave just a, because this can't be branching. Could do something like that and leave a 3. Can we do, yeah, and then we can do this. There we go, and it leaves the L shape there. 2 weeks, nice. We flew into Rome, and then we went to Florence, and we briefly stopped in Pisa. We just sort of got off the train and went and looked at the tower and got back on the train. And then we went to Cinque Terre, Rio Maggiore in Cinque Terre, and we stayed there for a few days. And then we did a couple days in Verona, and then a couple days in Venice. So we were kind of all over. And we did we took a plane, a car, a bus, a train. We rented a car. We did like every form of transportation at some point. It was kind of crazy. I did enjoy it. Yeah, there was a lot, too many people for me, but that's not because of anything with your country. That's just what I'm used to. Especially in Rome and Venice. I mean, obviously. So this would leave an L. We need to do a branching thing that potentially, I mean, it doesn't have to be an L. I'm just. Yeah, I don't know how to leave an L and branch over here. So maybe not an L. I can't decide whether it's easier to start with the branching one or the non-branching one and try things. So, I mean, we could do that and leave a Z. Is there a way we could leave a Z? Yeah. We can do that. There we go. Congratulations to you as well, Jay. Okay. Right. So we need to have 2 equal shapes that aren't part of the star shapes, and the star shapes have to have symmetry in, both. Is that gonna work? That might work actually. There we go. Because these star shapes are symmetrical, flipping horizontally and vertically, and then these leave the T-pentomino. Or is it, no, that's the Y. Is that the Y? That's the Y. That's the Y, I think. The T is when you have 3 and then 2 sticking down. Pretty sure. It looks kind of like a T, but I think that one's a Y just to distinguish from the other T. Okay, so we're putting 2 holes, and we need to be left with 2 shapes that are the same. So basically, I mean, I just need to put a hole. Well, I think it's there, right? No, but I can't do a hole there. Oh, no, it's right here. And then the other one is there. Yeah, okay. So this one is our vertical symmetry for flipping. And this one is the rotational symmetry. And then the 2 regions that are left have to be outside of those. Oh, wow. Okay. So whatever we do, up has to be down, and likewise. Hello, one cool man. This one's gonna be tricky. I was just wanting to check something here. Okay. Anyways. Since I posted the Mathler video, now I'm getting lots of buzzes. So it feels like this rotational thing is going to have to use this corner up here somehow. And we can't obviously use all the way around the hole, because then you'd have to have a hole on this side. We don't have a hole. Oh, you're thinking it's horizontal? I'm thinking vertical. Well, here we can test that, actually. This is going to be wrong. Okay, so this... Oh, in fact, that's right. It's, I don't remember which way it is, but it's one and not the other. So it's specifically only vertical or horizontal. So let's try, here, I'm just going to try a shape to see if it, oh, but that's, yeah, that flashed at us. So it's not, well, that's not symmetrical either way. What am I doing? Here, this shape. Okay, so this is horizontally symmetric and not vertical, and it flashed at us. So it must be that it needs vertical and not horizontal. Yep, so it is a vertical symmetry. It's kind of, the shape, I think they could use a different shape that would be better, like, you know, like a U or something, where it's got vertical versus horizontal symmetry, and it would be a little bit clearer what it means for, yeah. So vertical, and it can't have horizontal symmetry. That's the key part there. So what if we do that? And then how are we going to get that same shape that's left over here? I mean, that's clearly not going to have rotational symmetry. So what's interesting about this, I feel like it's going to be the same shape drawn in both. I mean, the holes are the same. The whole thing is the same. We're going to draw the same shape. You know, if we split this here, this one's going to be basic. I mean, there's no reason not to just split it the same way. Maybe there is a reason, but that's my feeling, is we're going to, so we basically need a shape that's vertically symmetrical here and rotationally symmetrical here, but it needs to be the same shape. So can we get one that's vertically symmetrical and rotationally symmetrical, but is not horizontally symmetrical? I don't know if that's possible, actually. No, it's not, because think about, so just take the top left of our shape. If we have, you know, a little, whatever, a little jut out up there, right? An arm in the top left. For vertical symmetry, you therefore have to have an arm in the bottom left. But at the same time, on the rotational symmetry, you also have to have an arm in the bottom right. But now that bottom right is going to be horizontally symmetric to the bottom left. So they can't actually be the exact same shape. I think that's right. Hello, Verge. So the weird thing is, how do we end up with the same leftover piece? You know, like for the rotationally symmetric, we could do something like this, right? And then you have this leftover, but then this one's going to have to be, I mean, basically the same shape. What if we do like, oh, but see, the other problem is, so this rotationally symmetric, we can only have one shape left over after we cut our piece out. So we can't do like, let's see, what was I trying to do? We can't do like this, right? Because you're left with two pieces in here besides the rotational one. And we need to just have one, so it can't actually go all the way to the edge of the grid. And so that means we can't go up and around this hole at all. Well, we can, but we can, because we have to remember that it's not oh, can we do this? Can we do this? This is, no, it's not vertically symmetric. But is there a way to do that? The hole is going to have to be an important part of it. Yeah, for sure. Like, the hole essentially becomes part of our rotational piece here. And so we can use that to make something that would be vertically symmetric. Like this would be vertically symmetric, right? If the hole wasn't there. Yeah, can we do something like this? And then over here, oh, that's close. So it's a 4. Yeah, and then and then we do a U over here. Oh, except it's got to be the other way around. We do a U. So with the hole, they both make this 4 shape, but this one is rotationally symmetric and this one is vertically symmetric. Wow. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few solutions on that one. All right, so this tells us vertically and horizontally symmetric. And this one tells us only horizontal, and what's left has to be the same. And again, we're gonna have to use the hole sections somehow, right? I mean, they're not holes, they're kind of cutouts from the edge of the grid, but they're like holes. So this one is symmetric this way and not that way. So that, I mean, that would potentially work, but you know, if you did that, that almost works. Yeah, it was Verge. So I don't know if you've seen any of this game before, but you essentially have to figure out what you're supposed to do as you're doing it. And there's all these symbols, and you don't know what they mean until you try them. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, this is close, but this part isn't symmetric, so. We're left with that. Oh, and again, this is really close, but this one needs to have horizontal reflection symmetry and not vertical reflection symmetry. Yeah, it's got to use the cutouts somehow. So somehow we need to make... So these are the sides. Okay, well, this cell clearly has to be part of the reflection thing, right? Because we can't cut it off and have it be its own spot. So the other side has to have some sort of a cut similar. And you could do something like that. That would work for this one. But then how are you going to make that shape? Actually, no, that's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's just the same thing flipped. Yeah, this game is confusing, Ruby. That's kind of the point of the game, I think, is to confuse you. So we do know that we need to make whatever's not in a shape that has a symbol. They need to be the same shape with rotation reflection. This tells us the shape that it's in needs to be symmetrical when you flip horizontally and vertically. This one needs to be symmetrical horizontally and not vertically. Somehow it's got to use these. So one of them has to use these as kind of, you know, an indentation on the left and or the right. And then the other one is going to have to use the drawing of the shape to have that left or right indentation instead. If that makes sense. What if we do something wild like that? Is there any way to draw that in here? No. There's not. We could try just something like this. Is that? Huh. This one's a stumper. I mean, I want to do some sort of a T shape for this thing, but if this comes up and over, you'd have to do the same thing on the other side. If we leave a T, now that could be in a lot of places. This one has to be symmetrical vertically and horizontally, though. So that doesn't quite work. That doesn't work either. So we know this has a little jut out, which has to be either this piece over here. I don't think you're allowed to do, no, the pieces that aren't with the symbol have to be, well, that doesn't have symmetry anyway. Yeah, the Wordles is probably why I showed up in your recommendation. Yep, I do the Wordle shorts as well. I do lots of different puzzles. I solve lots of Sudokus and other pencil puzzles, and sometimes I do these puzzle games like this. I do Mathler, Wordle. Basically, if it's a puzzle, I'm probably interested in doing it for the most part. Yeah, you understand a little about the symbols. Yeah, the symbols, so we pretty well know what these symbols mean. Right now, it's just a matter of figuring out, for this one at least, what the shapes could be. I want to do something similar to this, how I used the hole as part of the shape. Except this time the hole is on the edge of the grid, and that's what's messing me up. So the hole has to be... The witness? Potentially. Yeah, I'm open to suggestions. If people are interested in seeing me try it, sure. I know other people have done it, but that's okay. If people are interested in watching me do it, I'll do it. Right now, I'm just hoping I finish this level sometime. Like anytime, ever. I can't quite wrap my head around... It's like this with a lot more pretentiousness. Okay. Any insight on this one, Zeta? Have you done this level yet? Because I am struggling with it. I want to feel like the leftover piece is somehow like rotated on the other side. I don't know why, but that just feels right. Right, that's the hard part. It's been a couple weeks and oh, you have a Sudoku named Insight? Have I done that one? That I can't remember. Does that sound familiar because I'm playing a game called Insight? Or is there another reason that sounds familiar? See, something like this where we're cutting out, I mean, this isn't right, but the idea is we're cutting out a 1x3 and then the cutout here uses the... Yeah, send me a link, Megalam. I actually have a puzzle submission form, which is the best way to send me something. Just a second, I'll give you the link. Because if you just send me a message on Discord, I get too many and I forget. I forget about them. I see a message and I think, oh, there you go. You can submit a puzzle to me at that link. That's the best way to do it. Because that way it puts it into a spreadsheet for me and I've got them all. I've just got a list there because otherwise I get too many in different places and it's easy to lose them. So, I've got to use the hole somehow. How do we do that? So, presuming that, I mean, this piece here has to be part of this symbol. Oh, and this piece has to be part of this symbol. So they both have to have, because they both have to have horizontal symmetry. They both are going to have to include either this piece over here, or else it's going to be something like this. What if we do something like that? Is that going to work at all? No, because once you start using the whole grid top to bottom, it's 5, and then if you want to do it... Yeah, this is the last one, I know. I'm sure it's something sneaky. Oh, oh, I just had a thought. Your comment there, Jay. This is the last one. So what I'm thinking is this is already horizontally symmetric and not vertically symmetric. And so if we make something over here like this, and then not that, but like that, and then we cut this piece into two pieces. The two separate pieces don't have to be on opposite sides. But there's 13 here, so it needs to be something. The tricky part is it needs to be something that, or it could be the other way around. We could do this one, but this whole thing isn't, so it's got to be that way if you're going to do that. But this has to include, because it has to be symmetric both directions. So it would have to do that. But then can this be, otherwise you have to do this whole thing, but then you can't cut this into two equal pieces. Because this piece here sticking over tells me that and you could do, you know, we could do that over here and have these be our two leftover pieces, but then this isn't. So it's got to be something like that, but because this piece connects to that, so they've got to be part of that, which then forces you to have a piece sticking off the other side. So it's either has to be this piece sticking in, or you're over here, because otherwise you're cutting off that individual cell out there, which isn't going to work. And we also have to have the same thing down here, which again has to either be this one, or you're cutting off a single cell, which is what it is. Wow. That's that one was annoying. I mean, it's very clever, but we're just trimming off. Those are our two things that we're trying to get. Oh wow, okay. All right, well, it's definitely lunchtime now. It's about 12:30 here. Been doing this for 2.5 hours, so my brain needs a break. So yes, it is evil, isn't it, Mega? All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. Let me know if you want to see some more of Insight in the future. I don't know how much more there is, if it goes, you know, if we're like 1/10 of the way through, if we're 90% of the way there. I have no idea. There's not really any indication of how much more there is. I mean, presumably maybe we're getting a nice full grid here. It seems to work that way, so that would mean we're roughly half done. So Ruby, did you just not understand that last one that we did? Because basically what it is this one over here is horizontally symmetric if you flip it, right? But not vertically, because these are two. And this piece here is horizontally and vertically. And what's left, because this 2 up here tells us we need to have 2 identical sized regions outside of the symbol shape. So these 2 singles are those other 2. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is a 7x7 grid of 49. That means we're like not quite halfway through, I guess. Which is kind of scary. There's a lot left here. So yeah. Interesting. So
Tummy rumble getting loud. Yep. I'm gonna go have some leftover pizza. I think we had pizza last night, and there's leftover in the fridge. And 45 sets of puzzles, so not 49. Interesting. Zeta says he thinks there's 45 sets of puzzles, so I guess we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles. Thanks. Bye.